Still licking our wounds after a tough Game 7 where the Wizards couldn't get to the Eastern Conference Finals once again, but there seems to be glimmers of hope. Nonetheless, we got to walk through another disappointing conclusion to what looked like it was a promising season. I'm Mark Gray, sitting in for Andrew Dyer. Welcome to this week's edition of the Roundball Report, joined by Jimmy Fly, coach extraordinaire from HSRN and three-point artist. They could have used you in the last 11 minutes of the game when John Wall couldn't throw it in the ocean from the Lido deck of the Love Boat, my friend. And then there's Alena Neves, who's seen a team up close and personal. And, you know, the more things change with the Wizards, the more they stay the same. They know how to tease you, don't they?
They do. They really know how to tease you. But, you know, I have my opinion about what happened to them. And unfortunately, it just, again, they improved. They improved. They were 2-8 back in November. So, I mean, you got to give them credit. They really performed well. They went further than they had been in 38 years, right? Hasn't been like 38 years. Yeah, 38 years. So, you got to tip your hat off to them and say, okay, they did well. However, I am very upset with John Wall because I see him.
Upset, you say? That's an interesting word.
Yeah, I am, because I feel like you have been playing every quarter in every game all season long and in the postseason. Now, all of a sudden, you can't make a fourth quarter. You don't have any legs in the fourth quarter.
Maybe that's why he couldn't make the fourth quarter shot.
No, he couldn't make it because he didn't go to Boston when he was supposed to go. He was here, okay? He was here after that Friday night game. I think John Wall did not handle things in the way he should have handled it.
He was out of time.
You're saying that?
He probably celebrated a little too much on his Friday night performance. And, people, I can't reveal my sources, but I do know that he was out.
You hit a big shot like that, you earn the right to go out and enjoy something.
I'm not saying he didn't have to. Friday, but you only have, think about it, you have 2 nights off. But why did I get emails saying that the team was in Boston? But some of the people were not in Boston. So I'm still trying to make that connection.
If that's accurate, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Well, if is the operative term here.
I don't know. I'm just listening to Alena 7.
I have very reliable sources that people were having a good time. I'm not saying that they're not supposed to celebrate.
We're not saying that your sources are inaccurate. We just know that we are dealing in a time of alternate facts, and we just want to make sure that these are not alternate facts.
Fake news.
Well,
this isn't fake news. No,
let's get back to the game.
Yeah, because let's talk about it from the realm of basketball for a second, because I get that. But I'm talking about.
He didn't have his legs.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Okay, but look at the way Boston played him. And last week when I hosted, I tried to make a point that I saw signs of him wearing down in Game 4. He wasn't able to get that quick first step, getting to the hoop. He took a lot of physical punishment throughout the course of that series. They beat him, Boston is, up the way that Detroit beat up Michael Jordan on the way to him becoming a champion. They put the beat down on John Wall. It was a tough physical
He couldn't penetrate in the way he's accustomed to. He couldn't do his coast-to-coast drives. But go ahead, Fly. I'm not going to cut
the middle. Because I know you got energy, so I got to squeeze in here.
I'll be here talking, so go ahead.
But don't talk about he got beat up like Michael Jordan. The rules were different then. You had to pick your teeth up off the floor. They had Jordan rules. I don't hear nobody talking about no John Wall rules. They're just playing pick-and-roll defense. John Wall, for all the talk, and this is his own self-promotion. This is my problem with that. If you're going to self-promote and say, I'm the man, I'm the MVP, because Kawhi Leonard doesn't talk about himself, but he delivers. Kevin Durant, Stephon, look at all, they don't have to talk because they got the proof in the pudding. He's trying to get there, so shut up, and when the moment's there,
the moment was there and he didn't have his legs. Now, there is no doubt about
his legs because
there's a discipline issue.
These are highly trained professional athletes at the peak of their, physical performance.
And they're also
they had 2 days off in between games. So he had 72 hours to recover. The decision making, look at the stats.
Yes.
1 of 8 from the 3-point line.
Yep.
He was 7 out of 15 from the 2-point shot.
0 points in the fourth
Let me
quarter.
finish. He only got to the free throw line twice. That's the problem. Beal was hard as a firecracker. He went away from Beal, and Beal was on. He should have been driving the ball to the basket, getting to the rim, and getting to the free throw line. If he shoots his normal 10, 12 free throws in that game, because the Wizards outshot them from the free throw line. So I don't want to hear that. All that stuff is excuses.
And he missed his free throw.
And in the post-game show,
Now
when they're
that's
talking,
inexcusable.
in the post-game show, I hear the thing, the curse that I hate the Wizards. It's always the same thing. Well, our goal was to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
I'm tired of hearing it. Your goal's got to be the
It's
NBA
gotta be
championship.
go to the finals.
Because if they say they win that game,
We're
well,
in
then
a
you're
town
conceding.
that
I'm going to lose to
I'm gonna
LeBron
lose.
James.
Folks,
Exactly.
we are in a town that raises banners for attendance championships. You look in Boston Garden, you don't see anything that doesn't say World Championship. You go to Staples Center, nothing says, not even conference championships. We have an attendance banner. So does it not shock you that the only realm of greatness right now that this organization aspires to is to simply get to the conference
That's
finals?
why a guy
Does that
like
not
Kelly
shock
Olynyk
you?
can come off the bench and send you packing
leprechaun,
back to
yes.
D.C.
But this is my issue, and it's been my issue even from last year. I just feel like the players lack discipline on that team, and that's from a very up close and personal perspective of just being with this team for like 2 years straight, almost every week.
Are you talking
You know
about
what I'm saying?
discipline off the
There's
court?
no discipline. There's
Off the
no
court
discipline.
or on the court? Because
No.
what they do off the court, I could care less. as
No,
long
but
as they're not getting arrested.
but that's not true. Fly, you can't say that though, because that contributes to your performance. So you can't disconnect and go, oh, well, you do what you want to do on your day off, and then all of a sudden just show up and be ready, because we see that was the case over the weekend, and John Wall didn't have his legs.
I don't want to.
John Wall didn't have his legs.
I don't want to go
No,
down that road.
You can't tell me that you performed the way you performed on Friday, but you can't do that 3 days later and you get 2 days of rest?
I'm telling
Come on
you,
now. And
that's
you
mental.
score no
That ain't
points?
physical.
That-
That's
it
mental.
could be mental.
Because
pressure bust
they defend him.
Make a
They
diamond.
defend him and invite him to take that medium range or 3-point shot because they know that's his Achilles heel. You got to put your head down and go to your strong suit.
And
go to
game
your
7,
left
you go
hand,
to the-
get to the
hoop,
hole, and
yeah.
force the referees to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
He did not do that.
Marcus
If you're going
Smart.
to be the man, then that's what you do.
Marcus Smart
Was diving all over the floor for
Brad
every loose
Stevens,
ball and
Brad
creating
Stevens,
havoc for the
Marcus
Boston
Smart,
Celtics.
all
A
of
lot
them
more energy.
saw. No, they even said it on the news. Okay, after the press conferences, they said they saw, their coach already saw that Wall's legs were going on him in the third quarter. So the object, guess what their strategy was? Beat him down in the fourth quarter. Take him down in the fourth quarter.
There was nothing new. We got.
I'm just saying.
Well, you know,
all
we'll
this-
come back to the comments
all this leg
on the
talk.
other side. But I wanted
he
to.
didn't score anything in the fourth quarter. How can you? I mean,
because he's
Bradley
shooting
Beal
bricks.
ends up the night with 38 points.
let the
He
host-
has 18.
Things happen, but
20-point difference.
let's get their side of the story. We've come up with all kinds of opinions and innuendo and speculation. Let's go to the backstage, the disappointing epitaph to the conclusion of this season, where John Wall and Bradley Beal stepped up and had to represent while the Celtics move on.
You know what I mean? We came out here Game 7, gave everything we had. Just came up short, so, you know what I mean, it's very disappointing to us. Our goal was to get to the East Conference Finals. We was 1 game short of that, so it's not a satisfied season to me.
A good job in the first half. You know, we weren't even playing well, and we were up 2. And, you know, we came out in the second half and got up a nice little lead, 6 points or whatever, and then, you know, we kind of got a little lax, and, you know, they went on their big run. So, you know, it's been a trend for us, you know, just staying in the moment, staying, you know, locked into it defensively, you know, not worry about our offense. We score. Every time we look at this box score, it's 100-plus points, you know. That's never the problem. It's the 115, the 120, and, you know, however many we're giving up. So, you know, it's a learning lesson. You know, we're a young team. It's good that a lot of guys got this experience, and, you know, we're just going to get better, us two as leaders, and, you know, come back next year with a better mindset.
It was an unbelievable moment for us. It was great. I mean, you dream of winning Game 7s. You dream of playing, I mean, in the Garden. The fans were amazing. We didn't give up. We gave it our all, and Kelly was MVP tonight.
You know, that's a tough team that we played, you know, 7 tough games against. And, you know, they can score. And we needed, you know, to help out the starters, help out Isaiah. And, you know, he's been putting us in really good positions. And, you know, the type of attention that they were drawing to him, you know, he was getting rid of it, putting us in great positions. And we had to make plays. And you know, that's what we tried to do.
Wall one-on-one with Trotter. The blow by. And the finish. And get the finish. Isaiah Thomas. The speed and the steal. Rozier leads it for Trotter. Washington up by 2. Smart. Oh, the reserves. Beal pulls the trigger.
And it was just a bad night for the good guys, at least if the good guys are wearing blue. You know what I mean?
Well, I looked at from what Beal just said in that interview. He talked about, you know, we get 100 points, but it's what we're giving up. In the 4 games in Boston, they gave up just under 122 points a game. They lost by an average of 13.5. In the regular season, they gave up 107. So that's almost a 15-point spread defensively they were giving up on the road. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. They were letting Boston score. They couldn't stop them, and they couldn't score enough on the road to get it done.
They don't have enough. They need to restructure that.
They don't have a
enough.
closer.
No.
They are a veteran with some championship savvy away. I will say that.
Yes,
They
believe that.
They need somebody who knows how to win her. Remember when they went out with the previous Big 3 scenario and they brought in a Antonio Daniels type who was able to stabilize the locker room and give them some kind of
You mean
calm
leadership?
No, I'm talking about Antonio Daniels because Jameson hadn't won a championship until he left. But, you know, when Daniels came in from the Spurs, he was at least able to command respect in the locker room.
But Paul Pierce did that too.
And he did. You're absolutely right. They need somebody of that.
But they need
Pierce's career. They need a stud. Okay, they need a stud. They need DeMarcus Cousins. You mentioned Paul George.
I knew he was going to say no.
Gordon Hayward.
You talk about being distracted.
Yes. I'm not worried about his distraction. That man put up 25, 30 a night and 12, 15 rebounds. Boston has nobody to guard them. Boston might get the #1 pick in this draft. The Wizards, the gap, you just saw there's a gap between the two teams. That gap's going to grow over the offseason. They're stocked with draft picks, and they can make a major move. The Wizards, the first move they need to make, Ernie Grunfeld's time is up. His contract is up. That's the first move. If they're going to get to where they want to go, which is where I want them to go, is NBA title, the first move is shaking Ernie's hand, thanking him,
Ernie's
and moving
gonna
on.
say no. Ernie's going to come back and go, no, I brought in Brooks. He's not.
I don't care
brought
who
in
brought
Brooks.
in.
He's not. Yeah.
It's time.
But they went 49 and
Scotty
33
Brooks
this
has
year.
his guy that he wants to work with. Let's take a 30-second time out, come back on the other side, and head for home. Looking towards next year. What does the team got to do to get better?